Everyone, welcome back to episode 10. I love you too. Taehyung stuttered out with a deep sigh as he lip bubbled. He said it finally. He knew this was love. He knew this also wanted to be with Jungkook, and for the rest of life he swelled hard when he looked up and saw the bright smile pull on Jungkook's face. Jungkook leaned in and picked Taehyung's lips softly. A bright smile pulled on Taehyung's lips as he giggled nervously. It all felt so surreal. He had never been this in love with someone, and he just wanted to scream it out. Rooftop, will you be my boyfriend? Jungkook asked suddenly out. After a moment of silence, I suddenly remembered that we had never made it official. Will you? Jungkook asked nervously. Taehyung laughed. They really were a hot mess. So nothing was in order at all, but he loved it. He loved Jungkook. Yes, of course, Taehyung giggled. You think that after all this and me here in your arms, I wouldn't want to? I waited for you all these weeks. I have been through so much. You better protect me for the rest of your life and even after that. Yes, yes, always, baby. I wouldn't ever leave you alone again, Jungkook whispered, and Taehyung clenched. What is it? Jungkook asked as he touched his nose and Taehyung on. Nothing, just happy that you are here. Taehyung sighed and put his arm around between their bodies too tightly, wrapped them around Jungkook. He leaned his head against his shoulder and smelled the addicting sandalwood scent he had missed so much. He felt his heart fluttered with love and he closed his eyes. You know, I have an ultrasound appointment tomorrow. You want to go with me? Can I? Of course I want to. Jungkook beamed at him. Taehyung laughed at enthusiasm response. I want to. You too. We are in this together now. I am so happy right now. Jungkook mumbled. You are the perfect. I am happy you waited for me. I will never let anything happen to you ever again. Their breathing slowed down as their bodies felt their eyelids grow heavy as they lie in the silence, just basking to each other's accent. They fall asleep like that, cozy up together as they drifted off. It was late already before they were done talking, and they both were exhausted. Taehyung could finally sleep again. No nightmares wake him up that night. The soft breathing of both men was the only thing heard that night. The next morning, Jungkook was greeted by the most beautiful sight he had ever seen. Taehyung was top of his chest and his cheeks was squinted as he lightly snorted out of his parted lips. Jungkook struck that puppy limb softly before he kissed it. He sighed in content and yawned. When he looked around, he looked at the clock by the door. It was 9:30 a.m. already. He slowly moved and let Taehyung's sister wake up, baby, Jungkook whispered as he leaned closer to his ear. He kissed his jaw and moved his lips further over to cheek and chin and neck. Taehyung slowly woke up and feeling of Jungkook's kiss and gone. What are you doing? They mumbled with a sleepy voice. Jungkook's heart quickened from the delicious sound. He kissed his neck again. Cry from Taehyung, a smile against his skin pulled back, and those beautiful eyes opened slowly. Good morning, beautiful. Good morning, Taehyung mumbled and sat up. What time it is? He asked and stretched out his muscles. It's 9:30, Jungkook said and sat next to him. He slipped his arm around Taehyung and put his chin on his shoulder. Taehyung felt his warmth radiate from Jungkook and he smiled. He could use to wake up like this around at apartment at 10 at the clinic, so they had to hurry up. He slowly climbed out of the bed, Jungkook right behind him. We have to leave soon. The apartment is 10 and we should have woken up sooner. You are sleeping so soundly next to me. I think we both needed it. Taehyung remembered the night before they finally had resolved all the problems. He blushed, remembering that Jungkook had asked him to be his boyfriend. Finally, why are you blushing so adorably? Splitted, Jungkook asked. When he saw Taehyung's cheeks flush red, pulled him back from against his chest. He slipped his finger under Taehyung's shirt and caressed his belly. Just us, now official boyfriends, Taehyung mumbled. Jungkook with a shy smile. It felt weird. He wouldn't mind, but he put his hands on Jungkook's as both looked down. Growing belly, they felt in mirror and they almost forgot about the time they had run. They rushed out of the quick breakfast. Taehyung had watched Jungkook in the dark navy blue. He really was a piece of candy. He shook it off before they would never make it to that apartment. He just blamed it on his hormones that was feeling hot from just looking at the man. He felt a bit nervous when he was lying in the examination bed, thinking time he wasn't alone. He held Jungkook's hand as the usual cold yell was waiting for any sight of the baby. How things had changed since the last time he was this past day. If Jungkook hadn't shown up, he would have been here all alone again, but now he had all the support from the one he loved. He felt so happy. His heart, could anyone be happy without exploding? He watched Jungkook as the beta woman pushed the ultrasound device on his stomach, and after some time he saw Jungkook's eyes light up, a huge smile plastered on his face as he watched the screen. Taehyung only had eyes for Jungkook. His reaction was everything, and Taehyung felt his tears gathered in his eyes. Jungkook looked over at him with so much love. Baby, look, it's a miracle, so tiny, Jungkook said, and excited voice. Taehyung watched Jungkook's expression was fascinating. He was smiling brightly when suddenly his heartbeat echoed through the room. Jungkook held his breath. He leaned in closer to Taehyung and kissed his forehead, tears brimming in his eyes. Jungkook's eyes as he peeked Taehyung's lips. This is the most beautiful thing you could ever give me, baby. I love you so much. Thank you, Jungkook said with a tear-stained voice. Everything was healthy and he was now 14 weeks pregnant. Taehyung breathed out a sigh of relief. He was scared anything was wrong after the past weeks of neglecting his health and stress he has been in. He got some new vitamin prescribed from the Vita as she printed out new ultrasound. Watched every single photo carefully, tracked his hands over the little bean. Taehyung laughed watching him. Really hadn't lied when he said he would take care of him. Taehyung felt happy. He was Jungkook round the car and slept in. On the other side, he put his both their seatbelts as he pulled back over Taehyung. He kissed his lips tenderly. Thank you for taking me with you. This was the most beautiful moment of my life. I can't wait to meet the little bean. Jungkook whispered with Taehyung's lips a few more times. I want us to enjoy this time the fullest. Let's leave for few weeks. Let's go somewhere where we can be alone, Jungkook said suddenly. Taehyung looked at him. He wanted alone time with Jungkook. He wanted them to work on what had happened and be with just three of them. He wasn't ready to face the hard world just yet again. Okay, I want that too, but what do you have in mind? Taehyung said, looking at Jungkook. Leave that to me, baby. Jungkook grinned and winked at Taehyung as they drove off. Taehyung gone as he slowly woke up from his nap. Taehyung didn't know. He was a bit confused when he noticed not sitting in the car anymore. He was wrapped in a blanket on the bed. He slowly blinked, his looked around and saw he was lying in the middle-sized king bed. What? Taehyung was confused. He sat up and looked around. Why was he in an aeroplane? But how? How? He was ready to slip out of the bed when the door was pushed open. Jungkook walked in. You are awake, he stated. He smiled at Taehyung and climbed onto the bed. Sat down. How are you feeling? I'm fine. But where are we? Taehyung asked confusedly. You fall asleep in the car and you really look exhausted, so I just carry you here. After we took off, I brought you here to rest. You really are a deep sleeper. Jungkook laughed and rubbed his chin on Taehyung's shoulder. Taehyung looked wide-eyed with what was this place? This was no ordinary plane. If he was in a full-size bed, what? How? Where are we going? Taehyung stuttered out, looking at around luxurious bedroom. That's a surprise. And how? Well, as you can see, we are in a plane. My plane. Jungkook teased. Taehyung, your plane? As I told you, I have been doing good with my own business lately. Jungkook grinned and a spark in his eyes. He just wanted to excuse Taehyung with how cute he was right now. Taehyung's mouth was gaping for now. Yes, Jungkook had told him. Jungkook was drawing lazy circles on his arms and Taehyung yawned after the great nap. Wait, was that? What time was it? He was going to ask Jungkook when there was a knock on the door. Jungkook answered, and a flight attendant walking with a trolley filled with plates of food. Taehyung cried, amazing smell. So, dinner is served, the lady asked with a soft voice. I was just going to ask you what time it was, but it's tails at all, joked. They both dug into the food as it was so starving. Taehyung stuffed himself and Jungkook occasionally fed him a bit. They gone when everything was finished, mostly Taehyung, but he just blamed it on being pregnant. He couldn't help it. He was hungry all the time. Jungkook had fed him a lot of his food too, and he just ate it all happily. Jungkook couldn't help it and occasionally picked his lips too. He really was too sweet for an ex-Mafia boss. Taehyung didn't mind, though he loved the attention he got from him. He craved his touch and he felt his body grow hot every time Jungkook touched or kissed him. The little crushed fingers and circles his waist, the soft kisses. The food was once again taken away from them and Taehyung was inspecting the interior of the plane for a bit. Jungkook just watched him from the chair he was sitting in. The smiling Taehyung was touching anything that looked unfamiliar. He saw the amusement in his eyes. Jungkook couldn't feel prouder for being able to make him so amazed. He wanted to spoil him rotten. His feet around Jungkook's waist so he was sitting properly on Jungkook's lap and wrapped his arm around his shoulder. You have any idea how gorgeous you look walking around pregnant with my child? Jungkook whispered as he nipped the skin of Taehyung's neck. He slipped his fingers under Taehyung's shirt and caressed his growing baby bump. Taehyung shifted in Jungkook's lap as he felt face he hadn't expected that to come out of Jungkook's mouth, and Taehyung brushed his face and his neck. He felt the hot touches from Jungkook's finger on his skin and body grew hot. He cried softly into his neck as Jungkook was mocked and kissing his way from Taehyung's ear to joints of his neck and shoulder. Taehyung edged his back into Jungkook's hands, and he was already growing needy. Jungkook closed his arms around Taehyung's back, pulled him closer, and crushed the shivering boy above him. "I love you, baby," Jungkook whispered as he kissed Taehyung's shoulder and neck, and Taehyung answered immediately out of breath. "That is, I love you too," he cried out and leaned his head on Jungkook's shoulder. They both exhausted and basked in their afterglow, covered in sweat. Silence was the only thing heard in the room when suddenly a voice from the speaker, "Sir, we are about to make the landing. Please get your seats and buck up." Taehyung, almost frozen as he was startled by a realization, he sat up, and Jungkook grinned. "There were people here. Of course, the plane doesn't fly itself." Jungkook laughed. Taehyung had completely forgotten where they were and was now embarrassed to the bone. He had let himself completely go when Jungkook was having him. What if they had heard him? What? He had his face on Jungkook's chest and heard the soft glance from Jungkook above him. "It's alright, baby. Come on, let's get it dressed." Jungkook helped Taehyung up in the trembling legs and softly crushed his belly after cleaning it from Taehyung's. "So beautiful you are. Are you alright? How are you feeling?" he asked in concern. Now that he was back in reality, he did Taehyung quite hard. Few clothes from his closet and pulled a sweater and sweatpants on Taehyung's body. He loved seeing him in his clothes. He quickly changed too, and they both walked out of the bedroom. Taehyung was hiding behind Jungkook as they walked to their seats. He was still embarrassed from the earlier encounter and didn't want to see anyone right now, especially not if they heard him. Taehyung sat down next to Jungkook and was bucked up by him. Before sat down himself, he pulled Taehyung closer and intertwined their fingers. While Taehyung finally had time to see where they were actually going, he looked out of the window and gasped. "It's beautiful," Taehyung said breathlessly. Jungkook had taken him to the Maldives. He had always dreamed about going to the place, but had never thought he would ever be able to go. He looked over Jungkook and smiled brightly. "Thank you," he said. He didn't know how to thank him enough in words, and he leaned in, placed a soft peek on Jungkook's sleeve. "This is the best surprise ever," he squinted his eyes back. He slapped Jungkook's arm and hugged before he focused his eyes on the view outside again. He didn't want Jungkook to see his red cheeks, and he felt embarrassment take over again. Taehyung watched as they landed, and he just couldn't wait to get out of the plane to see view. Jungkook had to calm him down a bit before it was like a dream. He walked beside Jungkook, get checked, and but he was elsewhere. His mind. The drive to the rented house was with him plastered against the car's window. Jungkook was watching him, enjoying the view while he had his hand wrapped around Taehyung and caressing. When they arrived, Taehyung was almost jumping with excitement to get inside the big house. It was right next to the beach, and the whole wall was seaside was made of glass. He walked around and opened the door to the backyard and was greeted by a big infinity pool and looked like it merged into the ocean. He stood by the edge of the balcony overlooking the beach and she enjoyed the view. Do you like it? It's so beautiful, Taehyung whispered as he leaned back against Jungkook, placed his hands around Jungkook's belly. Then Jungkook kissed his neck over and over again before he slipped his hand under his big sweater. I don't think we need this here. It's warm enough. Jungkook teased and gusted his fingers over Taehyung's skin. He felt him shiver from the touch and clenched, pulling the sweater up, making Taehyung gone. Jungkook. Taehyung whimpered, edging back against Jungkook. His body was growing hot again under his touch. Was it getting turned on so quickly? It hadn't even been that long. He looked back at Jungkook, pulled him closer with his hand on Jungkook's neck and kissed him. They slowly made out the balcony on the mansion to the edge of the beach. We continue, so everyone, see you in the next episode. Hope you will enjoy it. Comment it down whatever your feelings about this episode. See you again. Bye bye. Love you. Bye.